I'm Matt Wallace, this is Final Stand, and let's look at some of these Dogecoin updates that are coming just around the corner. But before we do that, let's think about this for a sec. Let's say you're holding your phone, you're holding your iPad, you're holding your computer right now. You're basically, even though we're technically many miles away, you're basically only 2 feet away from me right now. Almost as if I could reach through the screen and touch your hand, or your face, or your hand and your face. Let's dive straight into the Dogecoin updates. It starts off, Yo Sheebs, I believe Ross Nickel is writing this. There are technically 5 people on the development team for Dogecoin. Ross Nickel, of course, being the lead. Ross, though, if this is you, please come on the show, man. We want to talk to you. We want the community to be able to have a little bit more input in what's going on with Dogecoin. And I get it, some of the ideas in the community aren't necessarily going to be what's best for Dogecoin, but some of them also could help. So I want it to be a team effort. I want us all to work together and make some big improvements for Dogecoin so we can see it become one of the top cryptocurrencies in the world. It's already up there in the top 20 list, even in the top 10 list at certain periods of time. So it's going up there. We're seeing some major moves with Dogecoin. We want that to continue to happen. Also, keep in mind, if you're new to this channel, I was the only YouTuber, I am the only YouTuber who was posting every single day for 2 months, letting people know that Dogecoin was about to potentially go off. I was looking at numbers, looking at stats. It was nothing special, it was just looking at the numbers. Now, I'm going to be predicting more into the future. More cryptocurrencies, like Elrond. I predicted Elrond. 2 of the 3 that I predicted, 2 of them were 2 of the 5 best performing cryptos of the year. Dogecoin already, the #1 best performing percentage-wise crypto. Elrond is number 3. So I got 1 and 3 in terms of the best performing cryptos of the year percentage wise, and I did that looking at the numbers. I'm going to be able to keep doing that. So by subscribing to this channel with the notifications on, it really does give you a big advantage because I can let you know when some of these offers and some of these potential options on the table are coming up with new cryptos that may be about to do some serious percentage gains. Here are the Dogecoin updates. The updates. He says, I wanted to cover a bundle of things going on so people know where the development efforts are currently focused. The first point here, a number of improvements have been proposed and are targeted for the release of 1.14.3. So the previous release was 1.14.2. This one's 1.14.3. Additional DNS seeds have been added to provide improved robustness when discovering initial nodes, which definitely will help out. And we also see here, improved mempool handling, reducing the default expiry time from 14 days to 1 day, which will reduce the waiting time for locked-in transactions due to insufficient fee. So when there is an insufficient fee, let's say you try to make a transaction and you can't because there's not enough money to make the transaction or there's not enough Dogecoin in your account, instead of being locked in for 14 days up to, it's now going to be significantly faster to actually resolve those issues, which will improve the ability for you to use Dogecoin, other people to use Dogecoin for day-to-day transactions, because that makes it significantly faster. 14 times faster is a massive improvement, and that's not easy to do. Ross, the development team, you guys are working hard, and you deserve a lot of credit for all the stuff you're doing, making huge improvements. We also see here, UI for creating 2 of 3 and 2 of 2 multi-sig transactions pending testing and final review. A lot of this stuff, keep in mind, it takes time. You have to test it. You have to make sure it works. That's why it's not just going to be instant, because they're creating a lot of new stuff, new code, and if it doesn't work, then they can't implement it. So they have to actually be working through a lot of this stuff and testing it in each individual sector before they can do the major release and go into the next phase of Dogecoin. Also, we are working on making syncing faster, having identified 2 issues with 1.14.2. So the previous update, 1.14.2, they've identified some issues making it slower. And so they're trying to make the syncing faster. There's expensive validation done on every block that is loaded from the disk. So every time a remote node requests a block or header, there's a CPU cost before it is sent over to network. Fixing this improves the performance. It improves the performance by 3 to 5 times. 3 to 5 times may not sound like that much, but that's a huge improvement. And a lot of people aren't talking about this, but what these guys are doing here is going to massively change Dogecoin and make it better. It doesn't seem like that much just reading it, but when you actually analyze it and understand what's happening here, we are seeing some major updates to Dogecoin that a lot of people on the internet aren't even talking about. So I'm excited to have this platform and to be able to give you guys these updates on Dogecoin because no one else will do it. There is no Dogecoin YouTube channel with all the developers. There is no place where you can go and just see all this stuff directly and have it explained step by step. No one else on the entire internet is doing this. So I want to be the voice of Dogecoin in some ways and be able to come on here and give the big updates with Dogecoin, other cryptocurrencies too, Ethereum. I want to give you guys all of the information, actually do the research and figure out what's going to happen with cryptocurrency based on all of this stuff. I'm really excited about the community we're building and how fast it's growing. Also, the nodes are overly aggressive when it comes to the timeout for remote nodes. That's if they don't receive the blocks fast enough, which means that during high load, they're more likely to disconnect nodes slowly but progressively that they will be downloading from. So they're disconnecting, the nodes are disconnecting when it doesn't always go exactly how it's supposed to go, basically. That's what they're saying. So they want to fix that and make it a little bit easier for the nodes to be connecting without having to worry about those issues. So more big improvements here. A lot of this stuff may not seem like much, but it really truly can transform Dogecoin. Also, we see here, the next line. We are currently reviewing fixes for the above issues and hopefully will release 1.14.3 once they're verified safe. And you see a couple links there. I've looked into it more. It looks like we may be looking at somewhere between 6 months and a year to actually see these updates implemented. And I already kind of touched on that a little bit. But the reason why is because it does take time with this stuff. You're writing code, you're basically using an entirely different language. It's kind of like if you were to write an entire book in Spanish or something like that. You would have to first transform it from English or translate it from English to Spanish and then actually put all the implements in place. But now imagine you're writing a book, but there's no other words and books that you can copy directly off of. You actually have to go write all the stuff yourself. So it's going to take a lot more time. It's going to take a lot of effort and energy, and it's not easy. So that's why it's taking some time. We can't see the update in one day. It would be nice if we could do something like that, but we cannot see the update in one day. Let's go and take a look here. Dogecoin Core 1.18 based on Bitcoin Core 0.18. Work has begun, but we are fundamentally rethinking how we adapt Bitcoin to Dogecoin. This will improve the latter update pace, but it's not going to happen overnight. So basically what they're saying here, generally speaking, they've done a ton of the Dogecoin updates directly from the Bitcoin Core. So when the Bitcoin Core receives a major update, all the Dogecoin developers have to do, and it does take a little bit of work, but what they do is they basically just kind of copy over the updates and then apply them to Dogecoin. And so that is a process. It's not always easy. It does take time to do that as well. But they're now saying they're looking at ways to actually improve the ability to do that. So when Dogecoin Core has a big update that's from the Bitcoin Core, it can now happen faster, making all of this stuff more security sound, because that's one of the reasons that Dogecoin actually does have really good security, because they've done a lot of the same updates as Bitcoin Core has. So that's why the security for Dogecoin continues to stay strong, and why Dogecoin really isn't targeted much, because people know they're not going to be able to get in almost certainly. It being decentralized helps as well too. But all of that together is really huge improvements, and if we can see, because a lot of these updates haven't happened as fast as we want them to, if they can happen faster, that would improve massively the ability for Dogecoin to become one of the top cryptocurrencies around the world. The main thing is, rather than trying to jump from Bitcoin to Dogecoin in one big leap, we're now updating one small thing, fixing all the tests, then continuing. You see this sort of progress, and you can see it, they put another link there, but basically that's what they're doing. So instead of doing it all at once, they're going to now be doing each individual thing one at a time to make it a little bit more, hopefully, of a faster process. We'll see if it works. This is a lot of this is just kind of speculation. This is the first round of updates. More updates will be added on, and I of course will be covering them on this channel. But this is the first round, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff I really like. Some massive improvements that just reading them, you may not think, okay, that's probably not that big of a deal. But when you actually analyze them and think about them, yeah, it actually is kind of a big deal. It's potentially a huge deal. A roadmap for 1.18, along with the details of which protocol updates we would propose for activation are coming soon. The Android wallet has a number of improvements coming as well. New checkpoints to improve sync time, especially for new wallets, and also potentially a dark mode coming when it comes to those wallets. That would be cool. I mean, it's dark mode. Maybe you'd like that if your eyes are getting strained by all of the light coming from your Dogecoin wallet. So kind of a cool improvement. Nothing super crazy big with that, but still a pretty cool improvement. Then it says, stay wow at the bottom. You gotta love it. Stay wow, much wow. Signed Ross and all of the Dogecoin development team. So I think Ross was in fact the one writing this. It could have technically been someone else on the Dogecoin development team, but I believe it was Ross. And Ross very possibly, I know I've been tweeting him, I've been trying to get his attention, we want him to come on the show. Ross, if you want to come on, you can either come on live, which please do that, that'll be a lot of fun, because that would make it so much easier to really actually communicate with all the people in the community, because people can just do chats automatically right here and talk to us directly. So definitely come on. We all love you, Ross. We love everything you're doing. We appreciate you. So this is a very welcoming community. We're all going to treat you with respect here. And I would love to have you on. Send me an email, finalstandchannel@gmail.com, if you would like to come on the show. You can literally come on anytime you want. Anyone on the Dogecoin development team, we would love to have you on the show and get you talking to the community, get you involved more. We want all of you to feel like you're part of this community just as much as everyone else, and not just like you're developers on the outside looking in. We want you to be part of the community, be involved with it. Has Robinhood been annoying you lately? Have you been frustrated with some of the things they've been doing? Of course I have. When they stopped Dogecoin from hitting 10 cents, they stopped you from being able to buy Dogecoin on the funds that had not yet been put into your account. That was hugely hurtful to that Dogecoin rise. It would have probably almost certainly passed 10 cents on that day and continued, maybe even going up higher than that. But instead of doing that, Robinhood stopped it. So a lot of people are now switching from Robinhood to other investment sites. I've been using Webull for years. Now though, Webull reached out to me and they said, hey, here's a link. If people click your link, we'll not only give the people who click your link, we'll give you free stock. Up to 4, I believe. And we'll also give you, meaning me, we'll give you some money just for referring it. And we'll give you money in the form of a free stock. So they give me a free stock, they give you free stock, and we're all winning. So basically, if you've been enjoying my videos, if you've been frustrated with Robinhood, you want to switch over to Webull, Webull does actually have a lot of things in place there that make it better than Robinhood. You can place trades ahead of time. I actually used Webull for most of my serious trading before I even got sponsored by them. I've always been a fan of Webull. So when they reached out to me, I said, yes, absolutely. I don't care about Robinhood. If Robinhood reaches out to me, I will say no to that. I don't want to be sponsored by Robinhood. I want to be sponsored by Webull. So if you want to click the link, it's right down there in the description, also in the pinned comment. We also do have some cool merch now that just came out. I'm excited about that. I'm Matt Wallace. This is Final Stand. It was fun talking to you. It was fun talking with you. And I will see you in the next video.